Good morning. First, I just want to preface this by saying whether you realize it or not, and if this applies to you, then it's pretty pertinent and relevant. And if it doesn't, then you're just, you're here as a voyeur or whatever. But so you can think of it what you may, it doesn't hurt my feelings. But this here is some of the very best, most authentic information, real world information, practical information that you guys are going to get on what it's like to have low T versus augmenting that test level. The reason for that is because, like I've told you, I've always used really short esters. As I've gotten older, I've switched over to really short esters. Now that I've been off so long, it's unquestionably not only out of my system, but I've already crashed and begun to come back up to wherever my normal levels are going to top out at. And at 55, I don't expect a whole lot from them. I will get tested in the next few weeks. I'm going to give it a little bit more time, and then I'm going to see where I'm at, and I'll share that with you and show you the lab results. But I know I'm low. So as you age, older guys, as we've aged, the normal state of affairs and events is your test level, your hormone production levels of all kinds are slowly going to decline, slowly going to decline. So it creeps up on you, I'll tell you what you can feel almost overnight is when your growth hormone level, your natural production, once it dips below a certain level, and it's probably different for everybody, you'll know that almost overnight, because all the way down, you can still get by, and all of a sudden, once you get below a certain level, boom, that's it. No more protection for the connective tissue. All kind of issues can arise. It did with me years ago, and I've never augmented growth. However, when you augment test, I think it influences a whole myriad of other hormones in your body. It orders, or it arranges, because of the proportionality differences that you're playing with, that balance and that axis, it influences the production of all kind of other things in your body that we don't even credit test as influencing, I believe. Anyway, so I didn't have it slowly creep up on me because I stopped, bang, cold turkey, came off, no PCT. By the way, I've never used PCT, and I've always come back. Now that I'm 55, I didn't know if I could come back, but I wanted to find out. So it's pretty clear to me that I have come back somewhat, because I stopped lifting altogether when I quit. When I stopped using, I stopped lifting. I stopped everything. And I left it that way for like the first 2 months. And I lost muscle, I lost size, I softened up, etc., etc. But I wasn't even training, and I wasn't eating like anybody that was really particularly health conscious from an athletic perspective. So now that I've resumed training and I've got some of that under my belt for like a couple months, you can see that I've actually regained some of the muscle I lost. I'm nowhere near the size I was. I mean, if you go and draw comparisons and you look at really earlier videos, you can see I am nowhere near as impressively large as I was. And that I'm not going to be that large. But the whole point here is I didn't take years of my test level dwindling, so it crept up on me. So a lot of you guys out there, I'm complaining about the things that I'm feeling that are dragging me down and are big negatives and drawbacks because of the low T. A lot of you guys are probably looking at me and thinking, I do it. I'm your age. I'm older. I'm close to your age, whatever the case may be. I function. I go to work every day. I get things done. I do this. I stay busy. I'm productive. I'm not complaining. Well, it's crept up on you. Little by little, it's crept up on you. Think back to when you were in your 20s. Think back to when you were 25, 27. Think of what it felt like to be 25 or 27 physically, health-wise. Just that overall feeling of vibrance. Is that different today? Do you feel like you were still 25 or 27 years old? No, I'm sure that you do not. All right, so maybe you're not complaining, but it's because it crept up on you and you've learned to deal with it. You've learned to work with what nature's giving you over a long period of time, little by little, as it's dwindled. In my case, this is a really good example because it's almost like yesterday that my test levels were like I was 27 years old or so, 30 years old, 25 years old. So it's only been months. It's just stop, bang, hasn't been diminishing over years. In my case, it's just come down to what it is, crashed down in a short period of time. So I am coming back up a little bit, my natural production, but it's nothing the same. And I'm going to tell you the most surprising thing, and that's why I think this is such good information and kind of a really, really unique experiment here, is because I've done it this way and because I'm doing it. And I'm going to stay off the gear. And I'm going to keep doing it off the gear as long as it takes until I feel I've reached my best possible physique without, just on my own natural production, whatever it may be. So a lot of people think it's a foolish idea. Personal friends of mine think it's stupid, and that I'm putting myself through a bunch of crap needlessly. They don't get it. But it's become exciting to me because I'm learning so much. And one of the biggest things I've learned that may come as a surprise to you, that shocked the hell out of me, is augmenting my test levels. When I augmented my test levels, I thought that the biggest difference was I'm going to be stronger, I'm going to be bigger with more muscle, more of everything, right? Well, here's what I overlooked. More of good health. More of good health on than off at my age, my natural levels. My natural levels, this quality of life, is a bigger deal than the additional muscle size. The additional muscle size, which everybody credits it for, and, oh, he can't be natural, look how big he is. Oh, he must take a whole pharmacy full of gear, etc., etc. They're never looking at the guy's performance in his life, in day-to-day life, and how he feels and how vibrant he is or whatever, how energized he's feeling or healthy he's feeling or upbeat he's feeling or positive he's feeling. They don't look at that and tear that down. They tear down his physical appearance, right? That, oh, he's too muscular, that's got to be tons of gear, all this shit, right? Well, now I've come to find out, and I didn't know this before, that the least important thing test does, in my opinion, the least important thing supplementing test does for older guys our age, my age, anywhere near my age, is make you more muscular, is make you bigger, is make you bigger. That's the least important of the gifts that it gives you. That's the least, the very least. From a day-to-day, day in, day out, just living in your body, it's the least important thing. Big deal. That's nothing. I would be willing, when this is all said and done, months from now, probably after the summer, when I decide to go back on and I go on legit RT dose, I only need as much as it takes for me to have good health, an increase in my health. It doesn't matter if it gives me more muscle, which I'm sure it will anyway, but it doesn't matter how much more muscle it gives me or doesn't give me. That's not going to be the prerequisite that's going to determine, am I taking enough, am I not taking enough. That's just a little side effect. It's a little bonus if you enjoy it, whatever. Here's what I would say. If you're a guy and you're an older guy and you have low T, or you have any age, but if your testosterone level's low for whatever reason, the least important point or valid point to you in that circumstance should be worrying about how much more muscle it's going to give you. Yeah, it's going to give you some more muscle. A lot of it will give you a lot more muscle, but that's not, you don't need a lot of it. That shouldn't be the gauge. That should not be the determining influence or factor. If you never worry about how much muscle you build, if you never are worried about that, if you're just a regular Joe out there grinding in the world and your test level's low, what you're missing out on, the really, really key things that you're cheating yourself out of, or nature has now cheated you out of, or our environment has now cheated you out of, has nothing at all to do with looking like some kind of bodybuilder. Nothing to do with that at all. And this came as a surprise to me. But the feelings that I have as far as joint pains, aches, connective tissue aches, drive, and I can't say enough about drive. Drive is humongous. Just motivation, the loss, the depletion is enormous. The downgrading of all of that. That's the quality of life. I can't get by on the same amount of sleep. I actually feel like I just can't get enough sleep now. Yeah, I go to bed, I get up in the morning, I go to work. We're busier than hell at work. We are swamped. And I'm going in there today, and I got to go in there a positive attitude, which I have, because I make my money based on how much I accomplish, how much I'm productive. And not only that I get things done, but they have to be correctly done. I don't get paid to do things twice. So the mistakes are costly. But I'm ready to go, and I'm geared up, mentally. And when I get to work, I'm going to bust my ass like I do every day, and I'm going to keep moving and bouncing between jobs and try to make that money. So that's what I go to work to do, ultimately. So, yeah, I'm still going to get it done. You can still get it done. But to be brutally honest, for what I felt like before after a night's sleep, I can't get enough sleep to feel like that now. I can't get enough sleep to wake up and feel like that, from crack of dawn when I open my eyes. I don't feel the same at all. It's a huge difference. End of the day, when I go to bed, I'm so worn out and so tired and feel so beat. Never felt that way before. Again, because I've never been 55 before. This is 55 without the gear. And just on my natural production, I haven't been here before. This is all new to me. And it's shockingly revealing. And just every other aspect too. Desire is not as strong. Going to the gym, I pretty much almost have to not force myself as much now. I'm getting a little bit used to it again. But to be very honest with you, not bullshit you whatsoever, yeah, I have to find reasons every time I go to the gym to go to the gym. I need to go to the gym. Actually, I need to train more now than I used to have to need to train. The training is much more painful. The training is much more real. The weights are heavier. It's harder on all of my body parts, my muscles, my joints. I don't have as much strength. Tons of things. Just performing regular, everyday tasks that I need to perform outside, around the property. Anything is harder. Anything is less efficient. I can still be as effective, but it requires a lot more energy. My diet has to be completely different. My supplementation now, it's more important than ever for me to make sure that I'm getting more vegetables. I can't miss a day. I can't let that intake drop. I can absolutely feel a tremendous difference when I drink I make my shakes out of kale, my smoothies out of kale, out of blueberries, out of strawberries, the beets. When I don't take these things in on a daily basis, I feel the lack of it. Whereas before, it was a nice augmentation. It helped. I knew it was helping and I could feel it, but not to this degree. Now it feels like, miracle foods when I take them in. It just feels like they radiate a little more energy and strength into my body. I can feel it. Vitamins, multivitamin, my sport formula, made from raw ingredients, live enzyme action. That shit is worth more than ever to me today because there are more holes in my nutrition. I don't know if there are natural holes there because I need to eat more, volume-wise of certain things to get the micros I need. Micros are much more important now than they were before. Maybe to you guys none of this is important, but you're paying for it. If you improved any of these things on a routine, regular, everyday basis and were consistent, you would feel an improvement in your health and overall feeling of well-being. Try it and see if I'm wrong. I'm telling you some good stuff. But there you go again. Do you have the drive? Do you have the energy? Do you have the mental focus? Do you have the stamina? Can you find the time? And that's why you might not be able to find the time because you're lacking one of those things. You're short on it because your natural production's in the shitter. Can you do these things every single day without fail? Can you make it a priority? Can you make it more that important to you? Or can you just say, I've gotten by without it. I can go without it today, or I can skip tomorrow. It's easier for you to say that with low T. So all the things that I'm feeling, all the aches, all the pains, okay, now I was feeling some joint issues in my left hand, in one of my fingers. I'm not feeling that so much now. And you know what that was, I believe? I'll attribute that to, that was refined sugar. Refined sugar, much more sensitive to the harmful effects that I can feel. All the harm could still be there, but I couldn't feel it to the same degree. What my body can actually feel, damaging it, is much more heightened, much greatly heightened. It's much more important for me to control those sugars and to try and eliminate all that processed sugar. By eliminating that processed sugar, my hand now, I don't have that pain. I still have this elbow tendonitis like a big dog. And because I can't stop training long enough for it to go away, even though I'm not really digging the training that much anymore, it's not going away. I've never had it before ever in my life. It's a new event. So I have all kind of aches and pains and everything is different. Yeah, I know I'm looking pretty good right now. Not looking that bad for a guy that's on nothing and has been off and is right now is natural, is working with my natural test levels. I've been off so long that I'm absolutely working with my natural test levels. I purposely didn't train when I came off. I let my body fall into, poorer conditioning just so that I could see coming from there how much is not a vestige of my previous, test augmentation. How much can I come back on based on what I'm making? Because there's nothing coming in from the outside. So the muscle I have regained has come from that. I'm sure muscle memory has a ton to do with it. The fact that I have more muscle nuclei than I began with initially when I first started lifting, both from natural factors, just the lifting weights and natural currents over a period of time, and also from the supplementation of the test over the years, here and there, on and off, over the years. So everything is greatly diminished. Just my desire for anything, my drive to achieve and do anything. Can you still push through and soldier through and do what you got to do? Sure you can. Of course you can. All you guys out there do it. All you guys that are not on gear, that are older guys, you do it. You do it every day. You do it day in and day out. But I'm here to tell you for fact, if you were on TRT, if your test levels were not in the shitter, man, life is like a whole different ball game. So, like I've said all along, in the end, I will absolutely return to testosterone augmentation. However, now with the information I'm gleaning, and I continue to learn every day, every week, no longer do I think I need the 500 mgs that I used to take. I think that I could get away with probably 200 mgs. And when I go back eventually, months from now, that's how I'll start out, and I'll see what that does for me. I may start out with less than that. I may decide more by then. Because now I know that the reason me, personally, I need to use it, James Tiny Vest, when I return, is not for the muscle. I can look like this without it. But it is so hard that it's unreal. And more importantly than this, because this doesn't matter, this doesn't pay the bills, this doesn't feed me, this doesn't take care of people I love. This doesn't keep me around any longer or shorter, I don't believe. But with the healthier test levels, all the other quality of life issues, I'm better at. I'm better at, and I can enjoy it all more. I can actually live more completely, which in total disregard for the effect it has on me muscularly. That no longer now, I understand that's not the most important issue for testosterone augmentation at all. I get it now. And I never got that before. I get it now. Believe that, brother. Life's telling me I get it now. Anyway, I got to get to work. And I got to go leave earlier because everything I'm less efficient at. I'm less efficient at getting out the door. I'm less efficient at remembering everything. So I got to get moving now. But I'll be back later tonight. I got obligations I'm behind to fulfill. I got a sport formula video that I got to make. So I got those things to do this evening. And then in between all that, I got to figure out a way to work out and a time to work out. So that's it. I know, I'm not just bitching, not saying I got it so terrible hard. Many of you out there do these things every day, and that's what you're supposed to do. And I'm supposed to do it too, and I can, and I will, and I do. But I'm telling you, because I stopped, I feel a drastic difference almost overnight. It hasn't come on slowly. And I'm telling you right now that life's a lot better with healthy test levels than it is with diminished test production. There's no question about it. All the things that you don't think are important are more important. The things that you can see visually, just the aesthetics, is the least important part of it. That's just a little extra added bonus if you give a shit about it. That's it for now. I'll catch you guys later. Have an awesome day.